The advantages of a class action generally are that people pay less in fees and expenses.
Right.
It doesn't require every person who's a member of the class to file an individual lawsuit. And that's particularly helpful in cases where we have, some people, if you're working somewhere, are not comfortable suing your boss or your employer, and so a class action may give some people some relief without having to technically file a suit against them. And so those are things that are advantage of the class action. They allow a large group of cases to be resolved at one time, and so they sometimes offer benefits for defendants too. The process that if we could pull that last graphic back up, it'd be really helpful. We're having graphic trouble tonight. So if we could
We're having attorney trouble.
We really
when it's on the screen, you have to read it, Jim.
You have to read it now. Here are the advantages of the class, or sort of the procedures that would have to go through before a class action is certified. You basically have to put together a potential class. It can be agreed or opposed. A judge will take a look at it and agree that it should be a class action or not. Once a judge agrees, assume he agrees that it should be a class action, it goes forward. People have then a period of time where everybody in the class is sent a mail out, usually in the form of a mail out, notice of what the class entails, what the benefits are, and a deadline where if they want to opt out of the class and go at it alone, they can do that.
Right.
Okay? So, or if they want to stay in it, they basically do nothing. So at that point then, in the procedure, a settlement or fairness hearing occurs. Actually, that usually occurs before the opt-out period. And the judge sits down, hears all parties, hears all objections, and decides whether he agrees that the settlement is fair and should be approved. And so you have multiple layers of basically procedures or safeguards to make sure it's a fair settlement.
Right.
And in the end, he does the same thing with attorney's fees. There's rumors out there about attorney's fees and this sort of thing. Not true. Attorney's fees always have to be approved in any class action by the court. And as often as not, in the last couple that I've dealt with in New Orleans, the defendants pay the fees. For instance, in the Chinese drywall litigation that we were involved in, no plaintiff ever paid a plaintiff's his attorney a nickel in fees or expenses. They can be structured that way, a lot of different ways, but it's almost always less in contingency fees than what you see in a typical sort of car wreck case and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Jim, there is a ton of rumors out there right now talking about the fee has already been set, the attorney fee has already been set, a settlement's already. Just rumors.
It can't happen that way. It's not procedurally, it's not allowed to happen that way. It just can't. A judge would have to approve any settlement. It would have to be sent out opt-out provisions to everyone who's potentially affected by the class. Deadline set and open fairness hearing have to take place.